Hey guys, welcome to Love, Life, and Politics, where I talk about love, life, and mostly politics. Per usual, links in the description below for all the people that I listen to and follow to get multiple different perspectives on the news. I suggest you guys check them out as well. It's very healthy and very good for you to always see different perspectives and get different takes on what's going on in the news right now, so you're never just stuck in a bubble. Anyways, today I'm going to be talking about three things: media versus Chaz, the blue flu, and Rayshard Brooks versus good cop. Without further ado, let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is the media versus Chaz. If you guys have not heard, Chaz is essentially a little country inside of our country in Seattle, where a bunch of protesters have essentially seized control of a 6-block radius, and cops are not allowed to go in there. People with guns have now essentially taken over, and they've essentially erected a country that stands for the exact opposite of what they claim they want for a country. So these same people are the people that say we shouldn't have borders, same people that say we should completely get rid of cops, same people that say that there shouldn't be taxes, same people that say white people are all bad, all this BS. And in their perfect little country, or at least mock-up of it, they have walls to keep other people out, checkpoints to let them in. They frisk and check people before they come in. They have men with guns that are essentially creating or becoming their own bosses, becoming their own cops and protecting people, quote unquote. And yeah, essentially creating a little country that is much less protected, much less regulated, but essentially a smaller, dumber, more ridiculous version of the country they claim has all the things that they hate. And the media is essentially running screen for these people yet again. I've noticed a reoccurring pattern a lot, that the media does not show you the full story. They only show you the peaceful protest, but they don't show you the entire protest, which includes people dying, things being burnt down, people losing their lives, looters, and the whole nine. They only show you what makes their side look good. And when it comes to this, even the dang mayor is saying, oh, yeah, it's just a block party. Yeah, we've seen this before. It's nothing big. Nobody's really got to worry. But people on the inside, people who lived there, are not having to go out. There's a guy that's being interviewed that had to leave. This is where he lives. He lives in this block, and had to get a hotel outside of it because he fears for his life and he's not sure what the heck is going on in there. Apparently people are being hustled. Cops can't come in for anything, essentially. So if somebody in rape apparently has already happened in there, and no cops can come in to investigate, no cops can come in there, stop there, or be any type of preventative force. And the ex-rapper, or what they call him, a SoundCloud rapper, has essentially saying that he's the lord, the drug lord, or how do you say it? Street lord? Street hustler? He's the one that's essentially taking control of the spot. And he's not even good at being a leader. If I had to pick between this guy and Trump, you already know I'm picking Trump 100% of the time. But that's what's happening in our country. We have a little micro wannabe country inside of our country, and sad to say that the people who are in charge over there, the governor, Democrat, all of them Democrat, aren't doing anything about it. And my thoughts on it with regards to Trump is, I think a lot of conservatives want him to just come in here, lay down the force, but I think he knows that they're essentially baiting him. They're not doing anything so that when he comes in and does something, they're able to paint him as the authoritarian person that is trying to take control and trying to quash peaceful protest. That's what they want to paint the picture as. But I think it's tactful. I can't guarantee that it's going to work, given that most of our media and our establishment is run by Democrats. They will spin it to the best they can. He's letting them defend what's going on in there. And I think he's waiting for when things get serious enough that he's going to come in when it's right, restore law and order, and then he will have weeks worth of images for his campaign showing that these governors and these mayors, all of them were saying that this stuff was all good to begin with. He will be able to say, I came in and restored order. But before that, I was trying so much to not be an authoritarian. I was letting the people in their local government do what they needed to do. If they told me not to come, I decided not to come. When it got serious, real serious, I came in. So you blame them for all the chaos. Blame me for getting rid of all of it. I think that's brilliant, and I think if that's the reason why he hasn't just laid down the hammer from the get-go, I think that's a smart, tactful thing to do, and I hope that it pays off for him. Anyways, next topic is the blue flu. So, cops have essentially been getting the bad end of the stick, and they don't deserve it. I'm gonna be real honest with you. It sucks that because of a few bad apples, and yes, a few bad apples, that all cops are essentially being branded as bad cops, and people are trying to get rid of police. You're idiots. Everybody who's trying to get rid of police are idiots. I can understand some kind of, I wouldn't even say reform. I would like some better accountability for cops that are not doing their job correctly. Simple as that. If we can find a way to accurately assess if a cop is really not good for the force and causing more harm than good, or honestly causing any harm that is, calculable, we need to get rid of them. But all these unions out here are preventing good cops from being able to stay and bad cops from being able to be weeded out. I think that needs to be fixed. I think unions in general are the major problem in this. In terms of other aspects too, is like schools, why bad teachers are still in the school system because of the unions and tenure and all that trash. So I think if Trump is going to do anything, he needs to find a way to allow police departments to be able to get rid of people who are not doing their job correctly. That's just how I feel about it. Anyways, the blue flu is essentially when cops call in sick or just call in and not show up. And I'm torn because I know that it's just a very loud minority that are essentially attacking cops and saying that they don't want them and to disband them and to get rid of them. And I don't want the people who honestly are smart and understand the need for the cops and just want maybe some changes, but understand their need for cops. I don't want them to, get the brunt of this because, they're not the ones calling for it. But at the same time, I would love if there's a way that we could just make sure the people that hate cops don't get served and people that do love cops and at least understand and respect the fact that they're trying their best to do what's good for the community on one side, and just let the people out there who don't want anything to do with cops and want them to be disbanded, all 911 calls that come in contact with those people or are for those people, cops ignore. I am for that 100%. These people who don't want cops should have the option to remove how much tax dollars come from their paychecks towards the cops, and every time the cops are called, if it's to one of those people, that the cops do not respond. 100%. I'm for that. These people are dumb, ignorant, and don't know what the F they're talking about. Getting rid of the people who are assigned, tasked to protect you, and their argument that the whole system needs to be done away with because of a few bad cops, and judge the whole system because of a few bad cops. That's the exact mentality that racists are using for black people. You understand that, right? Painting the whole group because of one bad situation with, and maybe not one, clearly there might be more than one, but an extreme minority. That's like the white people out there who are racist. I know there are people that are racist. I do not paint white people with a big old brush. Okay? They're a significant reason why this country is as great as it is. I'm not saying that it's because of the color of their skin, but their culture has breeded a country where people are free and are able to do the things that at least the other half of white people are not trying to get rid of that. But that's besides the point. We need cops, and they're getting rid of cops. And I want those out there who don't want cops to stay in the position that they're in, for them to no longer have access to cops' services. 100%. I want the cops to be able to just be like, you know what? Y'all don't want us, deuces. We'll just help the people that want us here. I am for that. And I know for a fact that they'll be begging for cops to come back, because you know what? Even truckers are now saying, bro, if you defund your police to get rid of your police, we ain't dropping off no shipments to you. That's some ballsy stuff, man. I got to give them truckers out there some mad respect. Mad respect, sticking to the guns. But cops out there starting to call off, and I 100% understand it. What I wanted to happen in terms of just like safety for U.S. citizens, no, I don't want it to happen. But if we have people who want to get rid of the cops, and they're the loudest, and the people who want the cops are shutting up and being quiet and not doing anything about it, fine. If the cops don't feel appreciated, people who are out there supporting them are not supporting them, and the people out there that are going against them are the ones that are actually putting in the work to try to get rid of cops, I think your negligence and your passiveness is low-key supporting the other side. If you ain't going to step up for the cops, then I can understand if they leave, and I'm not going to hold anything against any cop who decides to just walk out. Not at all. Not at all. And it sucks so bad because so many people out there do support them, but they're scared now. We got an atmosphere that if you say you support the cops, all of a sudden you're a racist. All of a sudden you're a horrible person. It's ridiculous. And I really do hope before the end of 2020 rolls around, that we get back on the right track. I think we need to start respecting cops a whole lot more. And I also think that cops should be held to a better standard, and that there should be a way to be able to weed out those who would do something like what happened to that gentleman over there in Minneapolis. Simple as that. Anyways, last thing I want to talk about is this Rayshard Brooks and this good cop. If you haven't heard, another black man who started unarmed, but when he died was armed, was killed by a cop. Rightfully so. So, here's the true story. Media out there is only giving you half of it so you can be mad and go out there and be belligerent and burn down Wendy's. The true story, full story. Guy who's drunk falls asleep behind the wheel in a Wendy's drive-through. Cops get called. Cops come out. There's videos of these cops talking to this gentleman for 20 minutes. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nobody showing that they hate him. They check him, see that he is drunk. And this guy does have priors. And he is fully aware that if he gets detained for the crime that he is committing, he is going to go back to the clinker. Okay? He proceeds to beat up two cops and take their taser and starts running. While he's running, ain't nobody shooting him. The moment he turns around with the taser, then the cop lights him up. In the state of Georgia, a taser is apparently considered a lethal weapon. And even if it wasn't, you tase a cop, you incapacitate him, you can now grab a gun, his gun, because you just showed that you're willing to confiscate this officer's weapons already, and end his life. What happened here was clean. Would I have wanted this guy to die? No. But this guy clearly made a decision to put his life at risk to try to escape going to jail. Simple as that. And the fact that people out there, they burnt down the freaking Wendy's who had nothing to do with the death. All you people out here that are doing these types of things are retarded. Anybody who sympathizes with you is a retard enabler. And I don't mean that in a... Actually, yes, I do mean that in a derogatory word. You guys are slow. Mentally handicapped. If you are going to burn down businesses that have nothing to do with the injustice, quote unquote, that you have seemed to see, and burn them down. If you think that's going to make positive change, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You need help. And I hope that in the future, when you need a cop, they don't show up for you. Okay, that's a bit much. It's a bit much. That's a bit much. But I'm not going to be mad if a cop doesn't show up for you. If something super horrible happens to you in the future, and you still hold these values, because, I mean, of course, all these people can grow up. I think everybody who was involved with burning down the Wendy's need to go to jail and be charged to the maximum extent of the law, 100%. But people who hold these values and hold these ideals of hating cops and blaming them and not ever actually looking at the full story before they assume, the same way that they hate being assumed upon, they're assuming everybody else's motives. I would like to see that they're not there, and then see how your tone changes. See how your tone changes when you need the cops. When you need the cops to be there for you to protect your family. When you need them to be there to protect your businesses and establishments. Then I want to see how you feel about the cops when it's actually you on the line. But right now, all you kids are being dumb and retarded. You need help. All of you need to leave college, to be honest, because college is where you're getting all this stuff, to be honest. All these liberal behind professors training you to believe that the world is against black people and that you guys need to burn stuff down in order to rectify such grievances. You idiots. You idiots. And everybody out there who tries to make excuses for people because they're black, you are racist. You need to hold black people and white people to the same standard. If a white group or white mob was burning down businesses like this, y'all would be on top of it like white on rice, no joke. Crucifying them. Making sure they were put to the maximum extreme of the law. And you would be painting them in the media as horrible individuals. But because these groups are black or are standing quote unquote for black issues, you try to paint it as, hey, listen, it's just a protest. Hey, listen, it's just a protest. You're racist. You are racist. All of you who agree or think like that are the racist ones. Period. I don't care what your cause is. You breaking the law, you breaking the law. I don't care what priors you've got. You resist arrest and point a lethal weapon and shoot it in the direction of not just officers but other bystanders. But you forfeit. You forfeit. That cop now has 100% bounds, 100% ability to light you up with his lethal weapons. 100%. If there's a way that this could have went down, that this guy didn't die, awesome. That would have been amazing. But I don't feel sorry for him at all. We have no idea how that would have played out if that cop did not shoot him. We have no idea. We could have a very different story that the media would not report. Would not report at all. If that man did tase the cop, come up to the cop, get his gun because now he's incapacitated, and light him up, bet mad money the media wouldn't say nothing about it. You guys are horrible, despicable, and you're racist. You better hold every single one of these fools to the same exact standards you would hold a quote-unquote Trump supporter or Republican or a white person. Don't do that, and you're hypocrites, and I think you all need to be held to account for it. Rayshard Brooks was a crook, and he's resisted arrest and died. And a good cop did what he needed to do to protect his life as well as those that were in the surrounding area. Should this man have lost his life? Should is a different question. Different question. I would have liked for him to not lose his life. But trust me, none of these men need to lose sleep for what happened here. And President Trump, you need to step up, bud. You need to step up mad. You need to start defending these cops. Because this country's not going to look pretty when all the cops' morale are gone. I can guarantee you that. And true, it's going to be the blue states that are predominantly affected by this. And they're going to be very mad. And they're going to try to find a way to spin it. And they're good at spinning, man. 90% of the media is dominated by liberals. Don't give them that inch. Lock this stuff down. Make sure you dominate this message. And make sure that this cop does not get no death penalty. They're trying to put the death penalty on this cop. Y'all got me twisted, bro. Y'all got me twisted. Stand up for them. Everybody needs to. And people out there who support the cops need to go out there and support the cops. Speak up. Don't be afraid to get in conversation and put an end to these retards saying that all cops are bad. Stop it. Anyways, thank you for listening. To support the channel, I have a book out there called Why I, a Young Black Man, Voted for Trump. Please check it out, spread the word. That's the only way that I can really fund this channel at this point. I want it to grow, eventually have actual video, eventually have people on to discuss things and have discussions with. But yeah, thank you for listening. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe.